in the session. Let me share my screen. I got the host access just in a moment of time. Just give me a moment. Let me share my screen in a moment of time. Right. So I'm just sharing my screen. Hope you are all able to hear me, isn't it? Right. So I'm just sharing my screen. Yes. So today is the demo 1 of this AWS course. So course, let me type, date is 27th July 2022. The topic is AWS, and then class is the demo 01. So in this demo 01, you might have already heard about this AWS, and then nowadays if you can open the YouTube, you definitely will get the number of AWS course videos in your own language. For example, if your mother tongue is Telugu, you also will get a complete tutorial about the AWS in Telugu in YouTube, and in Hindi, English, whatever, in your mother tongue language, the AWS complete courses were uploaded freely in the YouTube. But why you guys are shown interested to this course? Because real time, right? You have to learn the courses in a real time fashion. Of course, in the YouTube also, many of the folks are offering the course content in most realistic way as well, but there will be no interaction to them with the faculty, isn't it? But here you can do a regular interaction. However, various reasons also, maybe to attend these demo sessions or maybe the courses. But let me explain our course structure and how it will be, what is the roadmap, and how we will go, and what you will get out of it. So that is what let us discuss here. So class is the demo 01, and then the fee is the 4,000 INR. You might have already informed. And then the duration is 30 days to 45 days. Duration is 30 days to 45 days. What is this 30 days to 45 days? So because a few times there were a little huge concepts. Those concepts let us spend little time in our weekends, maybe Saturday, 1 more hour extra, like that let us spend, and then let us wind it up in the 30 to 45 days. Okay. So this is the course plan, and what you will get out of this course, you will get a recorded daily class recordings, daily class recordings you will get, and a soft copy of the material you will get. So access to this recording, and you will give an access to daily class recordings, and then access to the soft copy of the material. So let me repeat. Topic is AWS, class is demo 01, fee is 4K, duration is 30 days to 45 days, and then class timings are 8 p.m. to 9:30, meaning till 9 p.m. the session will be there, 9 to 9:15. Based on the concept severity, let us take this decision to go till 9:30 or maybe 9:15, but 8 p.m. to usually 9:15. So 1 hour of serious discussion is good enough to every day, good enough to go ahead and then complete the sessions. However, you will be getting access to daily class recordings and then access to soft copy of the material. Fine. Now let us see the course content. Let me explain what it will be cover, and then with this course content, what advantages we will get, meaning what do you gonna do. So let me share the course content. One first, we will start with introduction to cloud computing. This is very, very important, especially for the freshers who are attending the interviews on the AWS, or maybe on the DevOps with AWS, right? The freshers who are attending for the interview, for them, this section is very, very important. What is cloud? Why cloud? What is data center? How the cloud is different to the data center? What are the different cloud deployment models? What are the types of cloud services we have? And I know what are the differences between the AWS cloud, Azure cloud, and then GCP cloud, DigitalOcean cloud, Alibaba cloud. What are all the differences between all these? Why you have chosen the AWS? So these are the questions that the interviewer will excite to know from a interviewee who is attending for the interviews as a fresher, not for experienced folks. This interviews questions will be there for the freshers only. So we need to understand first what is cloud, and types of cloud deployment models and all. So let us start with this introduction to cloud computing. Very important section. Understanding of cloud computing is very, very important, because we have to know why we are using the cloud. What is the meaning of cloud first? Why the companies are moving towards to use the cloud, no matter whatever the company it is. Let us say company of the employees maybe 5 or 10 or maybe 20, or companies of size 2 lakhs, 3 lakhs, no matter, but the companies are using this cloud. And you know, for the startup companies, the AWS and then the Azure and then the GCP, they are giving the free credits for 1 year to use free. They are giving, Azure is giving around 2 lakh dollars credit, 2 lakh or 1.20 lakh dollars credit for the startup companies as a funding, right? So that means what? This the cloud providers like AWS, Azure, GCP are encouraging the startup companies to use those services, right? So however, let us discuss what is the need of moving from the data centers to the cloud services. Why the cloud computing came into the picture, and what is that cloud computing meaning? So this in-depth discussion is what we will do here. And after we understood the cloud computing, then let us see the introduction to AWS. What is AWS, and how to subscribe for the AWS, how to create a free tier account, and about the AWS certifications, and introduction to AWS Management Console, and the list of services given by the AWS. So this section will gives you a complete picture, like what we are learning, and then how we have to learn them, and using this course, if you complete, what certification you will be able to do, and how to do the certifications. So these are all the things we will discuss in this introduction to AWS sessions. So once this is done, then we will start understanding about the networking. So what is this security groups and all? But before understanding this networking, the first service that we will understand is what, the identity and then access management. So this is the first service that we gonna understand. So this is the first service that we have to complete after you got an understanding about this AWS. Fine. So identity and access management is the first most service that we need to understand. What is this identity and access management and all? We will discuss coming up sessions. But after completing the identity and access management, we have to understand this EC2 instances. What is the EC2 and how to create the EC2 instances? This is what we need to understand. So just let me Control X and then put it after this IAM session. So EC2 instances we need to understand. While working with this EC2 machines understanding, we have to understand the VPC concept. Very, very important. Let me show you the production architecture, what we gonna derive. the production architecture. Probably I
Excuse me,
already,
sir.
yes.
Sorry for the disturbance.
Yeah.
May I know the VPS, sir? What is the VPS? I'm sorry.
VPC.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes, sir. VPC.
that is what, to make it understand more, I'm just opening one slide. Just let me open my PPT. So
Okay.
however, to answer this, it is a virtual private cloud we will create. So that virtual private cloud will limit the AWS EC2 instances to be accessed over the web, or to be accessed, sorry, not web, access over the network or not. So that will be decided using this VPC. So scope of the instances access will be given by this VPC. If you can see here, this is our production architecture. Exactly the same architecture we need to achieve using the AWS. What did you understand here? VPC. So this is the VPC. So VPC contains the availability zones like public subnet, private subnet. The machines we will set up in the private subnet are not accessed by anyone. In order to access these machines, we have to use this network translator, NAT gateway. Network access translator is what we need to use, and then it will pull the private machines into the public domain, and from there we can access the applications via the load balancer. However, maybe this is little higher topic in the day one. I don't want to discuss this complex structure right now, but this is what our production architecture we're gonna achieve using this AWS session. If we can see this, it is giving all the services what we're gonna use. As I told, first we have to use the IAM, right? That means creating the users and creating the rules, creating the groups to access the machines. So we have to use the IAM service to provide the security. And then what I'm talking about, the EC2. So all the virtual machines we're gonna create using this EC2. And these virtual machines will be created inside the private subnet and then the public subnet using the VPC, virtual private cloud. We will set up a virtual private cloud. So
Okay.
these machines, once it got created, then we will access the machines or the applications running inside these machines via this load balancer. Sorry guys, via load balancer we will access it. So however, let me correlate to this diagram, but once after let me explain the course content. Fine. So once after the EC2 is completed, then let us learn the VPC concept. So as part of this VPC concept, we will learn the networking, because in VPC, if you can see, there is a concept called private subnet, and then the public subnet, CIDRs. That means the IP addresses ranges. So each and every machine that we're gonna create in our production, we can see these machines we are creating in our production, right? Each and every machines that we're gonna create in our production will be in our private subnet. If that is the case, what is the IP addresses range that we need to assign to our EC2 instances is what we need to decide using the networking. So networking we will learn once after we have done the complete understanding on the VPC. So as soon as we completed this networking understanding, then we will understand this EBS, Amazon Elastic Block Storage or Block Store. Why we use this EBS is every machine that we are creating. For example, let me showcase you one thing. This is the machine I have created. For this machine, there is a storage attached. If you can see the storage attached, root device type is EBS. EBS optimized is disabled, and this EBS is given me the 8 GB of the value. So what did you understand from this one? In order to understand this EBS and all, first what we have created is what you need to understand. We have created a virtual machine, EC2 virtual machine, EC2 instances is what we have created. For that instance, the storage capacity is offering or giving by this EBS. what is the need of this EBS? What is the need of this EBS? This EBS is offering the storage to our machine. So inside this machine, if we want to keep anything up to 8 GB of size, we can keep inside our machine. So going forward, you will understand the architecture, like how the EBS is attaching to this EC2 instances, and a beautiful advantages we will get using this loose coupled way of attaching the block storage to our EC2 machines. Maybe at this moment you may not understand, but going forward you will get it. So what I mean to say is, once after we completed the EC2 instances and then the VPC and then the network, then we will understand about this block storage. Amazon Elastic Block Store. What is EBS volumes and how we can increase the EBS volume size? What is the snapshots? The snapshots will help us a lot. For example, I was installed here the Jenkins, right? So I want to take a backup of it to use it further time. Then what I can do, I can take a snapshot of it. So it will be come as a backup to me. So when tomorrow, anytime tomorrow, if this machine is corrupted due to any reason, then the backup machine I can immediately roll up. So that is the advantage of the snapshots. So however, how to take the snapshots of the machines and how to increase the volume size. Volume size meaning here, if you can see by default given 8 GB. If you want to increase it to 16 GB, how do we increase it? Yes, we can increase it because these are the cloud computing machines. Computing meaning what? The memory occupation. The memory occupation or the memory required for a machine to be increased or to be decreased, isn't it? Based on the need. So the computation will be applied on the cloud, right? So that is what it is said to be cloud computing services. However, we will discuss in depth of the cloud computing services coming up sessions. But let me introduce you the course content, how this course content will help us to work in the realistic environment and also to write the certifications. However, once we understand this EBS, then immediately we will go and then start understanding the load balancer. So if you can carefully correlate with this one, first what we have done, we have created the users using the IAM service. And then what we have done, we have created the EC2 machines here. That means virtual machines we have created. Then what we have done, these virtual machines we have divided into the private subnet, public subnet by creating the VPC, right? There's a lot of concept we need to understand in the VPC section, right? So it is not so easy as that as I'm showing here, but there is a lot of concept behind the scene. However, so once after the EC2 instances are created, then VPC is what we have set up. So VPC is set up into different zones. If we can see the zone US East 1A, US East 1A, in this zone US East 1A, we have created the VPC1 and then we have created the VPC2. In this VPC1, public subnet, private subnet, here public subnet, private subnet. However, we can create only one VPC with the public subnet, private subnet. That is also possible. But the point here, what I would like to tell you is the course content, what I have composed is correlating with your product architecture, the production architecture, right? So we will set up the EC2 instances. Then after we will set up this VPC so that our machines will be completely secured and can't be accessed over the network. In order to access the machines over the network, we have to use the load balancer. Not only machines, in order to access the applications running inside these machines will be accessed only via the load balancer. So that is the reason now it is time to understand about the load balancers. So what is the load balancing concept, how we can create the load balancers, types of load balancers, and various usages. There were a total of 4 types of load balancers we have: application, networking, internet gateway, and then classic load balancer. Which load balancer we have to use in which season, or for what use case we have to use which load balancer is what we need to clearly understand. So this section will give us a clear picture on the load balancers, and then finally we will configure the load balancer. So in this diagram, if you can see, this is the production architecture with the Kubernetes. However, we will set up the load balancer here. Okay, once after the load balancer is done, then what we will do is, let us use the S3 storage. Why we are using this S3 bucket, Amazon S3 bucket, is to store the objects inside it. What is the use case? Our application, whatever we're gonna deploy in our real production, our application have one use case of uploading a image. That uploaded image should not be stored in the database, because image size might be sometimes till up to 60 MB as well. So 60 MB size, not only images, some videos also we will upload. Assume if the application have the use case of uploading the videos, those videos we cannot put into the database, isn't it? So where we can put, we have to put those videos in some cloud storage. So that cloud storage is what we will use, is the S3 bucket. So Amazon S3 is what we will use. So that Amazon S3 we will set up where we can store our application objects like videos, images into that S3 bucket. Right. So once after we have done the S3 bucket setup to store the images, objects of our application, then our application, let me go to the next service. What we're going to learn, we will learn the content delivery services called CloudFront and Route 53. So here, why this Route 53 and then the CloudFront? Let me showcase you one thing. Let me go to Mumbai region. Guys, can you please mute? Can you please mute? I'm not explaining now why we have to use AWS. No, I'm now explaining you the course content, what I will cover, and how it will be a pure realistical manner, which will helps you to easily work in your organization. And also, if you will prepare for the certifications, this will help you to easily crack the certifications. However, you have to prepare some certification kits as well. I will guide or I will explain going forward. But why I have came to here is, let me showcase you the Route 53. So why we will use the Route 53 is, Route 53 is to create the DNS, domain name registrations. So whatever, if you can see this load balancer, right? Load balancer, whatever we will create, that load balancer requires the DNS. That load balance, for example, you are typing google.com or gmail.com. That is what the DNS, domain name. So that domain name will be keep at the LB side, load balancer side. Similarly, for our application also, we need a domain. So that domains we can create using this Route 53. So if you can see this hosted zones, we will host the domains. The domains it will create. And see, I have created the two domains, mybookshelf.link and then mybookshelf.live. So these domains I was purchased from the this AWS Route 53. If you can see this registered domains, so it will showcase us the domains that I have registered. If you want to create a new domain, you can even create the new domain. So this domain will be expired in the 2023. So how to create the domains? The Route 53 we will use to create the domains. And using that domains, our application will be accessed via the load balancer, right? So to create the domains, we will use the Route 53. And what is this CloudFront? This CloudFront is used to host the websites. The CloudFront is used to host the website. Every application, if you can see, usually will have a cover page. So every application will have two things, right? For example, let me type yashodahospitals.com just in case. So you will see one cover page. So let me open that cover page. Yes, yeshodahospitals.com. Let me open this. Just let me open this. Right, so accept all cookies. So this is what I'm talking about. This is a cover page. This is a cover page, and there will be one more page also for us to log in, so which will be given once we will be registered as a patient here. Once we will be registered as a patient, they will give us one more link to register and then the login there. So for example, I think somewhere also Yashoda Hospitals patient login website. Yes, patient portals. You see this Yashoda Super Specialty Hospitals patient portal. So give your UHID number and then enter the registration number. So the main application is one, and there will be a cover page to the main application. This cover page is called as a website. This is called as a website, and this is called as a web application. This is called as a web application, whereas this is called as a website. The difference is what? Website is just informative. It is just giving you the information, but web application is what? Informative. You can interact with it. It is interactive. It is informative plus it is interactive. That means what? You can give your UHID number, you can give your register mobile number. That means you are interacting with it. It will be gives you the dashboard. In that dashboard, again, you will interact with it by selecting the reports. It will gives you the reports. That means you are interacting. So when we are interacting, right, then that is called as a web application. And here, if you can see, you are not interacting, you are not inputting anything. It is just giving the information. We are just taking the information. This is just an informative. So informative sites are called websites, and interactive sites are called as the applications. So this cover page, every application will have a cover page, isn't it? That websites will be deployed in this cloud front. So let us go and then check this cloud front. Configure the DNS failover, hosting the web portal using the Route 53. Route 53 will give us a domain, right? DNS and all, where the applications will be hosted, websites will be hosted using this cloud front. Hey, can you please turn off your video? Yeah, thanks. So after we completed this cloud front and then Route 53, then we will configure the RDS. So our application will have a database, right? That database, we will also use the Amazon RDS, relational database service we will use. So we can use the various database types we have. So we can use the even MySQL if you want. We can use our various databases we can use. Actually, MySQL we can set up, or any database we can set up. Even the MongoDB also we can set up, or the DynamoDB and AWS database, that is the DynamoDB also we can set up. So based on the requirement, we can set up the database as a service inside this AWS. So this is what its architecture is. All our application, see this is application 1, this is application, meaning this is the EC2 instance 1, EC2 instance 2. Our application deployed on these 2 instances. So it is connecting to 2 databases which are running on the Amazon RDS databases it is, right? So we will see how to configure that RDS, and how of the application will be connecting with this RDS and all we will discuss. So we must have to know about one database knowledge, one database service, basically how to configure in our AWS. We must have to know, right? Now let us scroll down. If you can see, now what we did actually, number one, I will come back since beginning, whatever I'm telling. Step 1, we have created the users, created the groups, created the roles using the IAM service. Step 2, we have created the EC2 instances. While creating the EC2 instances, we were also seeing what is VPC, what is private subnet, what is public subnet, what is NAT gateways and all. And after that, as part of understanding this NAT gateway, public subnet, private subnet, we will see the networking concepts. What once after the networking concepts is done, and then once we set up this EC2 machines and with the application installed inside in it, then to access that application, we will use the load balancer. That load balancer requires a DNS. That DNS will be generated using the Route 53. And the application will be protected using always a cover page or a cover website. That cover website will be deployed in the cloud front. And then our application will connect it to the database. So we will use the Amazon RDS database. Practically, whatever I'm telling you now, that practically I will showcase every day while we are learning the concept. We will try to achieve this architecture. End of the day, you have to be fulfilled with this architecture, end of your course. However, the RDS we will set up to connect to it. Once after RDS is done, now the application is running here. So our application required to have some messaging services, mail services. So for that, we will use this management and then governance services. What this management governance services is using? CloudWatch. CloudWatch is using to see the application performance, application logs, application metrics. For example, we are using the Java application, assume. So what is the memory occupied by the Java application? So what are the logs of this application? What is the JVM metrics? What its performance? All those things we can monitor using the service called CloudWatch. Very important service. Very important service, and everyone should have to see the everyone should have to know this Amazon CloudWatch service. This is a minimum expected service to know. Is my screen visible for all of you folks? Is my screen visible without any lagging?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Thank you so much. Thanks for confirming. Yes. So once after we have configured this CloudWatch, so let me showcase you how the CloudWatch will help us basically. I believe I was deleted maybe by configuring it for the earlier batches, because this CloudWatch will cost us. Let me open this CloudWatch, monitor resources, and then applications. So just let me open this CloudWatch. In a moment of time, it is coming. Yes, see this alarms, logs, metrics. There is X-ray traces, application monitoring, events. All this is what it is providing for us, right? All it is providing. So cross service dashboard, like a request count, how many requests came to our application, right? And then how much requests are there on the load balancer, how many requests came, and then logs, CPU utilization. See this CPU utilization, status check, and then the number of objects in the bucket. This is the S3 dashboard. Number of objects in the bucket. Everything it is showing, right? So this is the monitoring service. CloudWatch is what the monitoring service.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sir, we can monitor the CloudWatch by Tomcat web server also, na, sir?
But the Tomcat web server doesn't give us the JVM metrics until unless if we configure the JVM metrics. So
Okay.
Tomcat will give us only the application logs, but not the network logs. Okay. So whereas this CloudWatch is also giving us the network logs. If you can see network count, see this, how many number of requests reached and how many are reached to load balancer, right? All these things it is giving.
But for example, sir, I'll configure the Oracle database in the Amazon Web Service. So suddenly my database will be down. So for unfortunately, CloudWatch will be give the alert, sir. It will down like that.
It will give us if we configure the CloudWatch for that RDS, it will give us. So we have to configure it.
But Tomcat we can check the by network logs only. It will not give the alarms like that.
Correct. So Tomcat we can check the application logs only, but not the network logs, not the alarms.
But database only we can check the by the alarms. When database will be down, it gives us some alarms.
Alarm, correct. Not only database, even the application down also it will trigger us the alarms.
Okay.
So
Thank
here
you.
we can configure. Yeah. Okay, so next service, let us go to our production architecture one more time. Yes, so here we have completed the deployment of the application securely in a private network which is not accessible directly.
Sir,
Guys, can you?
alarm means, sorry to interrupt, sir. Sir, alarm means whether we will get some kind of email delivered to us, like the service
Exactly,
went down.
exactly correct. So notification, email
Okay.
notification, it will be triggered.
Okay.
Right. Fine. So now if we can go to our production architecture, then we have deployed the application in the EC2 instances securely. We are accessing them through the load balancer, and the load balancer will be set up with the DNS we generated using the Route 53. And now we will register the user. So when the users will be registered, then we have to trigger an email. So for that, let us set up some SM mail service. Simple mail service let us set up, so that what it will do, it will trigger a mail to the end users. That is one case. Basically we can use SMTP settings of Gmail, or maybe SendGrid, anything we can use. Especially this simple email service, what it will do, it will trigger the mails to the end users about the application, when they were registered, and also it will send the email to the stakeholders. Stakeholders mean the maintainers of this AWS, in the cloud. For them also, it will send an email notifications when the machine will be down or when the machine will be crashed. Right? When the unusual situations will also happen, then it will trigger an email saying that yes, this has happened. The machine is down now, or some kind of alarms as now we discussed, right? So will be triggered by this SES. So very important service this. SES is mandatorily we have to configure. Go ahead, please go ahead.
It's like an AWS monitoring or?
Yeah, correct. So Nagios monitoring also will do the same thing. Correct. Right. So after the Amazon CloudWatch monitoring service we have done, then we will study about this cloud formation. This cloud formation is what usually no one is using this when the Terraform came into the picture. So, but we should have the knowledge on it. What is this cloud formation? So this cloud formation is used to automate the infrastructure. What does it mean? It having a template, it having a stack, and using this template and stack, we can create the machines. For example, if you can see this architecture, we have the 2 EC2 instance nodes. If you want 2 more nodes as well, then that 2 more nodes as well, we no need to go to the EC2 dashboard, just like I was shown you, right? When I enter this EC2, we no need to go to this EC2 dashboard. Let me go to this EC2 instances. We no need to come here, and then we no need to launch an EC2 instance. No, we no need to do this manually, right? So let me remain old experience. So we need to create these instances like this manually. So rather, we can do an automation of creation of these instances using this cloud formation. So it is having a concept called a template stack, and then executing the stacks to create the machines. Not only the machines, we also can set up the S3 buckets and all using this cloud formation. So it is a infrastructure automation service providing by the AWS. In real time, we never use this because it is too heavily costed. But as an alternative to this, we will use the Terraform. But we have to know the knowledge on it actually, because interviewer, we don't know what the questions will be asked by the interviewer, right? Because AWS is like an ocean. Around 240 plus services were there. Out of the 240, 200 services, he may ask anything, but the resume is what his first contact information for us, isn't it? The resume is a first contact information for the interviewer to do the contact with us. So in resume, whatever the services we were mentioned, those services only he will ask. So maybe out of this curiosity, he may ask, out of the resume questions as well. So maybe when the cloud formation, when the you assume you were mentioned in your resume Terraform. isn't it? But the questions came out of curiosity. He may also ask the questions on CloudFormation as well. Maybe the question like this: as we have the CloudFormation also in AWS, why you are using the Terraform? So maybe this question he might ask. We have to justify him. So that is the reason we also have to know about this CloudFormation service. So these are all the services are coming under this management and then governance services. So Amazon CloudWatch, CloudFormation, and then the auto scaling. This is a beautiful feature. This is a beautiful feature, auto scaling. For example, I am now using one EC2 machine. So assume I was created one EC2 machine. Let's say I was created here Kubernetes machine, or maybe I was created, assume the Jenkins machine, or maybe some machine I was created. So this machine is reaching its CPU utilization to 70%. Then immediately another machine should have to be spin up, meaning another machine should have to be created with all the data inside this machine along with the storage. Storage we called just now as an EBS, right? Storage series, EBS. EBS is attaching, elastic block storage is attaching to the every EC2 machine that we're going to create here. So when the machine will be spin up, again a new machine will be spin up, the EBS also should have to attach to it. So auto scaling is what? Scaling up and then scaling down the instances based on the CPU utilization. For example, in the festival days, the load might come more to the servers. Then the instances should have to be spin up immediately. And after festival completed, maybe we don't get that much of traffic to our servers. Then the instances should have to be scaled down. So scale up and then scale down were the features supported by this AWS auto scaling capability. So how we can scale up, how we can scale down, and what are the policies to configure, right? Like a CPU 80% or maybe network count or maybe network limit. So those are all the policies we can write to scale up or scale down the instances. And also while auto scaling, we also have to attach this ELB, this elastic load balancer. So at the load balancer side, how we can do an auto scaling, meaning LB is only one. If you can see this architecture, LB is here, but the machine should have to be scale up one more two instances, right? So how we can apply this auto scaling at the LB level is what we will see in this auto scaling section. So once after that is done, then you have to know about the container management. So in order to do that, so I will explain the registry. What is the container registry? If you understand the concept of the Docker, then probably you might know about this concept of the registry. Registry meaning the place where we will store the Docker images. So probably maybe you may not get if I explain about this registry, but let me try to explain you quickly. Just let me try to explain you quickly. Let me open one diagram. Quickly, let me open one diagram. Just bear with me for just a minute till that diagram will be open, because if I can't show that diagram, maybe you may not understand what is the meaning of it. So just let me upload one diagram. So let me decide later and let me open the diagram from my device. Just let me upload that. Go here and then upload the this diagram. Carefully observe what I'm talking about is the registry. Just let it upload. Yes. Let me just take it to 80%, 50%. I believe you are now able to see my screen. Here, if you can see in Docker, what we will use is in Docker, we will create the Docker images. So these Docker images will be uploaded to hub.docker.com. But this hub.docker.com is a registry publicly available. Anyone can see the images that I was uploaded into this hub.docker.com. So, but we have to store the Docker images in a secure place, not in a public cloud. We have to store in a some secure registry. Such secure registry offering by the AWS is what this Elastic Container Registry, ECR. So this ECR, Elastic Container Registry, is acting as a registry where we can store the Docker images securely. And with the Elastic ECR token only, other machines will be able to download the Docker images from this registry. So assume this machine is uploading the Docker images to this registry, whereas the other machine is downloading the images from the Docker registry or from the ECR to the QA machine. Now what will happen? The image is transporting from one environment to another environment with the help of this registry. So we must have to know about the functionality of this registry. Then what is this ECS, Elastic Container Service? Like how we have the Docker, similarly Elastic AWS is also offering this ECS. But this ECS I don't explain. This is out of the scope, because ECS is not even asking in the examinations as well, certification examinations content. If we can see, ECS is not giving that much of importance. So I am also not spend time on that. But let me explain you the EKS, Elastic Kubernetes Service. So what is Kubernetes and how the Kubernetes is offering by the AWS is what I will explain. If you can see this architecture, final architecture, it is on the Kubernetes only. See this worker node pod, you can see a pod. See this pod, and here see pod, right? This is the user management service application. This is the notification management service application, right? That means what? How to set up the Kubernetes and how we can use the Kubernetes, which is offering by the AWS. Everyone should have to know. For a AWS, AWS cloud practitioner, we have to know about this EKS. So this EKS I will explain. So while explaining the EKS, we have to know about the EKS command line utility as well. EKCTL, we call it as EKCTL. So that command line utility also I'll explain how to connect to this Kubernetes cluster. So this is what our final architecture with the Kubernetes cluster. Then if you can see this business application, Amazon simple email service is what we will configure. So see this architecture, there is a simple email service to trigger the emails to all the users who are registered into our application about the offers that we are offering due to the festival, or maybe coupons that we are allowing them to give some discounts, get some discounts, right? So that emails, promotional events, business emails, all we will send using this business service called simple email service. So how to configure it, how to use, we must have to know. So this service also I will cover. And finally, if you can see the notification service, email is different, the notification is different. Of course, the notification can be an email, notification can be an OTP, right? SMS, notification can be an SMS, notification can be a email. So for that simple notification service also let us configure. See here, simple email service we have configured. Through that we are sending the email notification. This is the email notification. This email notification we are sending through what? Through the simple email service that we were configured, right? So simple notification service, SNS, is also I will explain how to configure. But SNS with the email only I will explain, not with the OTP. So there is a pubs and subs model, and I will explain what is the topic, what is the pubs and subs model, right? Then queue service, this is very important service. Queue service I will explain. What is this queue service? Queue service is not for the end users point of view, but this queue service for what? See this user management. When the user management service, when the user is registered here, the the user management service will send a notification to notification service via the queue. So it will generate one event and then push that event into the queue. So then this notification service will go to the queue and get the email, get the events. I repeat one more time. User management service, when the user will create, the user management service will trigger a event to this notification service saying that, hey, notification service, a new user is added in our system, send him a welcome email. Like that, it will trigger an event to it. So that event will be pushed to the queue. From the queue, this notification service will get the event. So how it will be, how we can configure the queues and all, we will see this. So real use case is what? When one application is affected with one event, then the other applications also get notified with the event. So the event is exchanging between the applications using this queue service. Usually we can take a simple text and then put it into the queue and then get it somewhere, but that is not the real use case, isn't it? So realistically, there is a lot of code also involved here. You no need to worry about being a DevOps practitioner, being a other DevOps needs or AWS practitioner. You no need to worry about the code, but there will be a code also we can written. That code will connect to this queue service and then get the queues events onto this notification service. You no need to worry about that code. Okay, but I'm saying how the notification service will get the events from the queue, because by talking to that queue via some code written in the notification service. That part I will take care. You no need to worry about it. Then finally, Terraform. Here I have not written the Lambda, right? Serverless functions I have not given, but serverless functions also I will explain. Lambda also I'll explain. So finally, let us end our AWS course with the Terraform. That means what? We will automate entire architecture with our Terraform. So like using Terraform, let us create this EC2 machines. Let us create this EC2 machines, or let us down the EC2 machines dynamically. Let us automate the entire infrastructure using the Terraform. So, but Terraform entire course I am not telling here, because Terraform is itself a separate module which will take 30 to 45 days to master on the Terraform. So I will give you the basic usages of the Terraform. How much is required for you, like for the interview, that level I will explain the Terraform. Definitely it will be more than enough while for your interviews attendance. Okay, so that's all from the course content point of view. I believe if you understand everything, we will be correlate with this architecture, and then since beginning we will be in an intention to set up this production architecture. So whatever the service we are using, that service will be exactly correlation to this real-time architecture. Okay, any questions? That's all from my side, folks, for this demo one. Any questions for me? Okay, how much Linux knowledge is required? So definitely Linux knowledge is required to access the machines. For example, when I access the machine, I want to change from one user to other user. I want to access the directories. I want to list the files. I want to start the services. So Linux basic knowledge is good enough to attend these AWS sessions. Any questions for me?
What are the prerequisites for learning this course?
Sorry, can you please ask one after the other? Can you please repeat that?
Prerequisites. Anything is required to learning this course?
Yeah, prerequisite, right? It is good to have the Linux knowledge a little bit, because most of our work is around the EC2, and then the accessing the EC2 machines. Little bit Linux knowledge is required. Little bit, if good actually, if you can brush up and then come back the Linux concept. A little bit Linux concepts is required. Fine?
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sir, which flavor we can use in CentOS 7, CentOS 8 or?
No, actually, we will use the Ubuntu machines. We have a reason why we go for the Ubuntu reason. That reason I will explain when the time comes, when we will go with the CC2 instances. So we have strong reason why we are going for Ubuntu.
Yeah. So recorded lecture will be provided, sir?
Exactly. Every day class recording. For example, our class is happening 8 to 9:30, right? The recording will be uploaded to your Gmail drive by the tomorrow 12 p.m. So every day, next day 12 p.m., the recorded video will be uploaded.
And that will be valid up to how much days, sir?
Yeah, this course is 30 to 45 days, right? Into 2. So 90 days, till 90 days, that videos will be valid.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So what are the other questions, guys? Hello, sir. When are you going to start Java real time? That will take little time. Java real time project will take little time. Google. Yeah. Any questions?
Sir, excuse me.
Yes.
Excuse me, sir. Yes, sir. After 90 days, we can't access that video, sir.
Correct. Videos will be expired after the 90 days. But let me get the clarity from the management, like how long we will give.
Okay.
Because other courses, other courses like DevOps with AWS. DevOps with AWS is the course planned for 3 months, but it is moved to 4.5 months also. So we initially thought we will give the recording still 6 months, but now we have to give the recording still 9 months as well, isn't it? So here also into two, so we will provide the access.
I think at least 6 months, minimum 6 months should be available, sir, because students should get the content right. Otherwise, there is no point in.
Obviously, I understood because in one shot it is typical to achieve this architecture and all in one shot, and also we may get time or we may not get time due to the office or maybe other things. Let me check that and then confirms to you. Because that is not a problem.
We are simultaneously attending so many classes, sir, from you and other faculties from DURGASOFT.
Understood. That is okay. Hello, this is manageable. Yes.
Hello, sir. DevOps classes when will start, sir?
DevOps start meaning you are asking about the new course, a new session?
Hello, sir.
Shall
we download that sessions and material?
Yeah, material can be downloadable, but the sessions can't be downloadable. The videos only be playable, but not shareable, not downloadable. But material can be downloadable.
Yeah, then sir, we need more time to read that access.
Understood. That we can manage. That we can provide. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Sir,
hi, sir.
Yes.
Sir, actually, this course for AWS admin or for development?
Yeah. Actually, this is a general course. That means there were different certifications available for us.
Yeah, that's
so. This is for the beginner level. That is the cloud practitioner certification. So if we can, you got right. So AWS certification. If we type, here are the certifications offered. So let me go here. So this is for the cloud practice. Yes, beginner certification. So yes, this is the cloud.
Later I can choose the development level also, right? Like if you want.
Yes. Yes. However, let me explain about the certifications part in the next demo, because this is very important. How we can get the certification, how to prepare, and the content whatever we practice will be good enough to crack the certification and all. I'll guide actually. So there are a lot of examinations we have. So which examination we have to choose for, I will guide in maybe next sessions.
Okay. What are the challenges are there in the AWS developers?
The challenges is what, asking one programming experience. That is only the challenge. Maybe all the folks may or may not have the programming experience, right? If we go with the the developer, AWS certified developers course is asking one programming knowledge skill. So maybe all the guys may not have the programming knowledge, isn't it?
Programming
so based on our
means it completely automation, right?
Not automation, programming, maybe Python, Java,
like
.NET.
that. I got
like
it.
that.
Okay.
Correct.
For the automation. Okay.
See, this high level programming language is required.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
So how much cost it will be there, the certification per?
See this 150 USD again based on the certificate to certification. So for the AWS cloud developer, it is asking 150 USD.
In Indian currency, how much it cost it will be this?
Just into 80 rupees, around 12,000.
Around 12,000.
Around 12,000.
Okay. Sir,
Okay.
we are learning in AWS now, sir.
Correct.
So how DevOps also you also teach the DevOps also?
Yes, this is a specifically for the AWS. So DevOps also I will teach. So from tomorrow onwards 9 a.m. DevOps with the AWS is starting.
Fresh
tomorrow.
batch, sir?
Fresh batch.
For what time, sir?
9 a.m.
So can I log in with the same link, or you can? You will
I think it is a
provide-
different link. Maybe you will get the notification. It's a different link.
Okay, fine, sir. If you don't mind, sir, only when we grow up our career, so AWS is enough, or AWS with DevOps is useful to us career, sir?
Actually, when you are attending for the AWS cloud, right? With one cloud knowledge, you can get the job, because only for the AWS cloud practitioners jobs were there. But certification is mandatory. Assume you don't have the certification, but you want to get the job. Then as an additional concept, we also have to know one additional concept to this cloud. That is the automation, like the DevOps, CI/CD pipelines automation. If you know that with the AWS, then no one will ask. Certification is little, less priority. But only trying for the job on AWS, certification is mandatory.
Sir, just now you have told to me you should have programming knowledge in Python like Java. So I don't have any knowledge with the programming, sir.
So I told actually one programming language is required for cracking the AWS developer certification.
Okay, sir.
So, but for the AWS practitioner, no programming language is required. Okay. So there are various certifications. However, about the certifications, how to achieve this and all, we will discuss in our next session. Next session, I will give you very clarity.
Sir, hi, this is funny. So after we complete this course, will we be able to take what kind of certifications? Is it like AWS admin thing?
See this, my screen is visible, right?
Yes.
Yes. If you can see, there is a foundational certification called AWS Cloud Practitioner. And after this, we have the associate certifications. So for whom at least 1 year of experience in the industry. So who have at least 1 year, then those guys can attend for these certifications. AWS Certified Solution Architect Associate, AWS Certified Developer Associate, AWS SysOps Administrator Associate. And the guys who, based on the experience levels, based on the the skill and the knowledge and all, we can choose the certifications.
Yeah, sure. One more thing to add to this thing. I work as an Oracle DBA and I have around 6 years of experience. So what kind of certification I can take in AWS? So that it should...
Yeah, you already worked as a DBA, right? So you can go for this AWS Certified Database Specialty. But
directly I can go, or is
no. This special, no. Directly you can't go here. To go to this level, at least one of these certifications you should have to complete. So either the cloud practitioner, either the associate, at least one certification you have to get first. Then you can do this specialty. In order to do this specialty, we have to complete one of these either associate, either professional, or either the foundational certification already completed.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is
sure.
plus AWS, sir?
Sorry, your question is what is there in the DevOps plus AWS? Huh?
Yeah, course fee for AWS plus DevOps. So tomorrow
Yeah,
it will
it
start.
is.
Huh?
Yes, it is 12,000. 12,000. And this time, last time I told the duration is 3 months, but honestly speaking, practically a lot of things we will do, and pure realistically it is. So 3 months is not sufficient. 4 months, 4.5 months it will take. Honestly speaking. Okay, tomorrow
Okay,
also I will explain.
For tomorrow for AWS because I don't know. So we will call that support number, then we will get the link now.
Yes, you will get it. You will get it.
Sir, again, I'm funny. I mean, sorry to interrupt. So, if we complete this course, will I able to take this either solution architect and then database, AWS database certifications?
Yes, perfectly. You can go. But you know, the course, whatever we are doing here, right? The course itself gives us a complete knowledge on the services practically. But examination point of view, the certification examination point of view, it is a multiple choices examination with one or more options, 4 options, 6 options also there. So we need to practice the exam kits. I will explain where we can get the examination kits and where we have to practice. So monthly 800 rupees is a subscription. Few other sites are offering. Once we register and then practice thoroughly, then definitely we can crack the certification.
Okay, sir. Sure. Thank you. So AWS alone course, how many? What is the duration, sir?
So this AWS, let me plan for 30 to 45 days. In between, we will complete it. 30 to 45 days.
Sure. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks all.
Hello.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah,
please.
I have one question. Do we have DevOps course with the OCJA rather than AWS?
No, actually, we have the DevOps with AWS only right now. Yes.
And that is what you told for 12,000 rupees and approximately 5 months, right?
Exactly. 4 months, 4.5 months it will take. Yes, correct.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Sir, is there any new batch going to start for DevOps?
Yes, from tomorrow onwards it is starting 9 a.m. Yes,
9
tomorrow 9 a.m. Yes.
Sir, can I take both AWS and DevOps parallelly?
Yeah, you can attend. No problem.
Okay.
You can attend. You can do one thing. You can pay there or attend here without pay. Because with that payment you can take this one as well. But with this payment we cannot go there, isn't it? So that is the problem.
I think.
But I can pay that DevOps only.
I will check with the backend team once. Maybe that facility they will provide. Yeah.
Okay,
sir, it would be better to have one single course which will cover both DevOps and AWS in a fully-fledged manner, whatever you wanted to deliver.
Correct. Morning 9 a.m. We are doing that actually. Morning 9 a.m. Tomorrow we are starting. So it is completely AWS with DevOps, meaning DevOps with AWS. So
that will be a detailed AWS, or should we go for this course first and then that DevOps with the AWS?
This will create confusion.
No, don't confuse. This AWS session is for 30 to 45 days, isn't it? So here, whatever the course content I was given, we'll cover everything here. So this is a purely AWS course. After this course is completed, you can opt for any other course or you can opt for a certification things. So you can choose your path. Okay, that is completed. Now, next one is DevOps with AWS. For that course, who will come, who want to learn DevOps and also who want to set up the DevOps activities using the AWS. For that, they will come. For them also, same syllabus. But for them, additionally, the DevOps tools will be there with the CI/CD pipelines. So here, if you can see this architecture, the only difference is what, this architecture we are setting up using the Terraform, and then manually first we are setting, and then using Terraform we are setting later in time, right? Now, what they will do, extra, they will be use the CI/CD pipeline to deploy the applications in this architecture. You got my point, right? So CI/CD pipeline they will set up, and using that pipeline they will deploy the applications here through an automation.
Right. So DevOps course will cover all these AWS course plus DevOps, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly correct.
Thank you.
Exactly correct. Yes.
Sir, one more thing. Do you recommend DevOps thing for Oracle DBS? How it will be helpful?
DevOps for what? Arg?
DBS, database administration.
I don't think not required. That is different one.
Okay.
Different one. Yeah, not required. Not required.
Okay. And do we take morning batches for AWS alone?
No, actually,
Near
right
future
now,
or something?
near future, maybe after 20 days, it's 7 a.m. It might get started.
Oh, okay, fine. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, folks. Thank you so much for your time, and thanks for making this wonderful session. And hopefully see you in the next further sessions as well. Thank you so much. I'm stopping my screen share.
Yeah.
Thanks all.
Yeah.
Thank you.